and went ahead and do my own footer, which is absolutely fine. Okay, I did this footer without you because I wanted you, or I want you to do this footer yourself. So it's really simple, guys. I just adding of paragraph or span and place it to the middle. So let me refresh so we could begin properly. Well, our main purpose for this tutorial is to create a nice looking, beautiful website like this, whereby we can, if we move around, you can see how neat and spacious our website looks. And we didn't just wanted to, we did achieve this result using just HTML and CSS only. So you can see it also has a cursor. Cursor just means slider, sliding image. So if in case you are searching for slider and you didn't find, just write cursor, C-U-R-O-S-O-R, I think so, cursor or carousel, I don't know. So that's not our topic for today. All right, and you can see how beautiful it is. We're not just building this website, we also got inspiration from these websites, right? Let me turn on the column. Right, so you can see that this is where we picked our inspiration from, whereby we did ours. And this also has, we also needed to change the column mode whenever we click here. So this was achieved using jQuery, whereby if you click, they just change the column mode as well as the icon. But we needed to achieve ours, and we can't use jQuery to achieve this so easily. We have to use CSS and HTML. So in order to achieve that, what I simply did was to create an additional HTML file and name that HTML index.html to copy every code. Let me go back to my source code and you see what I'm talking about. So all I did here is to create an additional index file, copy every code here and paste in here. So not just all, and obviously it's going to retain its style. And I styled it by giving it a different look with what we called an internal styling. I don't think we did that throughout this lecture. That's why I used an internal styling here. So you could see as well as an inline styling. So if you do this, you will master the CSS selectors properly and the 3 ways of using CSS properly. All right. So if you are also noticing this, if you are also noticing this, I as well added a keyframe rather than using this fade in, fade out special effects. I added a keyframe for typewriter. So we are trying to get a similar look, not a perfect look. All right. So if you click here, you will see mine as well has its own column mode. We could change its own column mode in my own, as well as my keyframe keeps man, this is so beautiful. Okay, so one more thing I also did to also achieve this color inside of it's really simple, but all I did was just to create additional span inside of this H2 element, this header element. Yours could be H1 or H2, creating an additional span and giving it an inline styling. So this is it. Inside of my H1, I created an additional span and placed my web designer inside, then gave it an inline styling. So if you were coding along to this point, I want to say a very big congratulations to you guys. You just finished creating your personal portfolio of your own. Not just that, you've also mastered the basics of HTML and CSS with a practical work. I mean, you have what to show to others. This is my portfolio, my own design. And in your footer, I'm very sure you're going to put design by your own name. So this is it. All right. One more thing I added was this. I also make here the navigation bar. Whenever you click, it will take us to, you can see, right? If we click on the about, it changes, and once we click, it takes us directly to where we want it to be, which is beautiful. So to achieve that, it's simple. What I did is simple. Well, in our let's go back. You could see the way we broke them piece by piece, so we can uniquely identify each of the parents of them of each section. You know, each of the parents of the section. So inside those parents, those block level elements that mean this div, the parent, you know that in this class header container is the parent to, this whole section, not the parent to this either. The general parent is the container, which is this, right? So each of those parents is the header as well as the about, the projects. So if you follow this lecture, you will know the parents. I want you to pass them a particular ID, an individual ID. As you can see on your screen, the way oops, my mouse is, all right. So I want you to pass them, each of them, an ID, and the ID should go according to the name on your website. You can see here it's about on the nav bar, so you can easily locate them. So when you do that, you go back to your navigation bar. Inside of your nav bar, you could notice that we also pass an anchor tag so that this could be a link, right? So to locate a particular ID, we using an anchor tag, we begin it with an hash sign. If you're in Nigeria, it's called Naira sign, Naira symbol, an hash symbol, followed by the given name, the given ID, right? So, you could see the same ID, right? Right. Okay. Once you do that, you will see that you'll be able to navigate around your website easily. Okay. What else did we do? All right. So let's head here. This section was designed, this tutorial, was designed for absolutely beginners to learn CSS easily. And if you, or I wanted to say, because if you join this lecture, I'm going to teach you something that you might never learn from any other class. So a CSS basically is all about styling your website or making your website look well presentable, right? For you to fully understand CSS, even if you just woke up from sleep, is for you to understand the syntax. Any language in general. So finding syntax error is all about debugging, finding your own mistake. What's the problem? And everything about CSS syntax is just what you are seeing on your screen. One, the selector, the property, and the value. That means we have a selector inside of the curly braces, which is a bracket, I don't know. And we passed in our property, then the value, right? So this is basically what CSS syntax is all about. And the CSS selector comes in three ways, which is the class selector, the ID selector, as well as the attribute selector. So you also learn that the ID selector is not just part of the CSS selector. It can be used it can be used to pass in as an indicator. What I mean, the way we pass it as a link to uniquely identify each of these container. So you could see another use of an ID selector. When you dive more into programming, you see more use of ID and class selector. Beautiful. One more thing I am going to add to this tutorial because of you joining this tutorial is what you may not see in any other tutorial, which is still our procedure selector. So if we look at our website, when we try to identify something, by hovering around it or trying to just what I'm doing, it gives us the default color background of, I think, sky blue. I don't know, but I don't like this. I don't even want the background at all. I just want a color to identify my stuff. All right. So to do that is simple. What you need to do, you need to pass it. Let's do it at the top better. All right. So to do that, you need to call it as a procedure selector. Call in the procedure selector of selection. Right? You open this bracket and you close it. Of course, then you could pass in your background color to be whatsoever you want. Let's give it green or light green. That's good. I think we should see different section. Alright, let's give it this green yellow and give it a color of let's give it yellow. Yellow. Alright. We save. Control S for Windows and Command S for Mac users to save. Refresh. Alright, it's going directly. So that's it. If we hover now, you can see that it's giving the background color and the color effect we gave it to be. Like I told you, I don't want the background color, so just remove it. I just added it there for knowledge sake. Alright, to show you that you can as well add your background color. If we refresh and we highlight anything, you could see that it's giving us our color, but this is it's not friendly. Alright, let's give it something like orange. Okay. I don't know if this is orange, but let's save, refresh. Alright, so if we highlight anything, you could see how beautiful it is. So we achieved this using the procedure selector called selection, right? So that is it. Thank you guys for joining this lecture. I really appreciate your time, and our next journey will be CSS animations as well as the CSS transitions. If we go to our notes, you see, and we head down to our syllabus. Okay, you see. Alright, in our syllabus, we've achieved the introduction of CSS. We know how it works, or the meaning of CSS, and we know how the selector and property works. We also understand coloring. So we know how to place coloring. There are 3 types: the hex, RGB, and the short code, and the code name. So the formatting is more like the debugging. So what is left is we have also done layout for you to build your portfolio if as well achieve this layout. So we'll also talk about these layouts and explain this grid and flex box. So putting your display to be flex, you automatically achieve this flex box. But I'll still talk about layout. There you will understand grid and flex box more better. Same goes for the animation. You've used animation by adding these keyframes to your website. This keyframe, and this is a CSS animation as well. And this is best to explain the CSS animation. Alright, this dancing around. So I'm going to talk more about the animations, so you can fully understand. You've used it, but you don't fully understand what it means. I will create a new class for the CSS animation, same as the transition. There you will be a master in CSS. Alright, so thank you guys for joining this lecture. I'm going to end this here, not to waste so much of the time, and I will really appreciate you guys. The only thing to motivate us to keep doing more is just the subscribe button. Hit that button and the like. That's all. Alright, bye for now. With no further ado.